Alright, before we dive in, I want to ask you something real quick. Have you ever noticed someone in your life who seems to celebrate your wins, but something feels off about it? Like, they smile, they say congratulations, but their eyes tell a completely different story. Yeah, that. Drop a comment if you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because what I'm about to share with you, it's going to explain why that happens, and more importantly, what's actually happening inside their mind when they're pretending to be happy for you. But here's the thing that most people get wrong about jealousy. Most of us think jealous people are just, well, jealous. We think they're angry at us. We think they want to tear us down because they hate us. But Carl Jung figured out something much darker, and honestly, much sadder than that. And it has nothing to do with what you actually did. It has everything to do with what you represent to them. Let me explain. So Carl Jung talked about something he called the shadow. And this isn't some spooky demonic thing. It's actually just the parts of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge, the parts we deny, the potential we didn't pursue, the dreams we gave up on, the person we could have been but didn't become. Everyone has a shadow. You have one. I have one. That coworker who seems nice but gives you weird compliments has a massive one. Now here's where it gets interesting. When you succeed at something, when you achieve something real, when you level up in life, you're literally living out possibilities that someone else rejected in themselves. You're proof that it could have been done. You're proof that the choice they made to give up wasn't inevitable. It was a choice, and that absolutely haunts them. Let me give you a dramatic example. Let's say there's a guy named Marcus. Marcus is 32. He's smart, he's capable, but he's been working the same job for 7 years. He tells himself he's not a startup guy, he's not entrepreneurial, he's meant for stability. He's built this entire identity around why he can't do certain things. Then his friend Jake launches a business. It's messy, it's terrifying, but Jake does it. And suddenly, Jake's not just succeeding, he's destroying Marcus's entire narrative about why that path wasn't possible. So what does Marcus do? He smiles at Jake's success party. He says, "That's amazing, bro." But then he goes home and he picks apart every tiny flaw in Jake's business model. He talks about how it's probably just luck, how the market is different now, how Jake's probably going to crash and burn anyway. He's not actually angry at Jake. He's furious at himself, and he's taking it out on Jake. This is what Jung would call a projection of the shadow. When we see someone else living out what we rejected in ourselves, we project our self-hatred onto them. Now the really mind-bending part? The people who are most threatened by your success are never the people who are actually better than you at something. It's the people who almost could have been. Think about that for a second. The person who's light years ahead of you, they don't care. They're too busy playing their own game. But the person who's 1 or 2 steps behind where you are, the person who knows they have the same potential you do, that person becomes your shadow. That's the person who will smile at your win and then spend 3 hours on their phone thinking about why you don't deserve it. So let's talk about the rage, because that's what you're actually sensing when you see that fake smile, right? You're picking up on rage that they're desperately trying to hide. But here's what's wild, and this is pure Jung. Their rage isn't really about you at all. Their rage is about a conversation they had with themselves years ago. When they were younger, they made a decision. Maybe it was conscious, maybe it was automatic. But they decided, that's not for people like me, or that's too risky, or I'm not that kind of person. And they closed the door, they locked it, they threw away the key, and then they built their entire identity around that locked door. For years, this works fine. They don't think about what's behind the door. They just know it's not for them. But then you walk through it. You do the thing they decided they couldn't do, and suddenly that locked door starts rattling. The hinges are shaking, because you just proved that the door was never actually locked. They locked it from the inside. The rage you're sensing, it's not directed at you, it's directed at the version of themselves they abandoned, and you're just standing there, existing as living proof of their choice. That's why it feels so personal, even though it's not about you at all. I want to pause here because I know some of you are thinking, okay, but that doesn't make it hurt any less when someone acts weird about my success. You're right, it doesn't. In fact, understanding why someone's jealous can sometimes make it worse, because then you're sitting there feeling bad for them while they're treating you badly, and that's its own kind of painful. But here's what changes when you really get this. You stop internalizing their reaction. You stop thinking, oh, they must know something I don't. Maybe I don't deserve this. Maybe I made a mistake. When you understand that their jealousy is just them being haunted by their own shadow, you can finally see it for what it is, a reflection of their internal conflict, not a referendum on you. Now, Jung said something really interesting about this. He said that the shadow we refuse to acknowledge in ourselves, we project onto others. We see our own rejected potential in other people, and we either desperately want to be them or we want to destroy them. There's almost no middle ground. So when someone is jealous of you, they're actually cycling between two thoughts constantly. I want to be like that, and I want to ruin that. And because they can't admit the first one to themselves, all you ever see is them trying to do the second one. But here's the part that might surprise you. Sometimes the same person will switch between adoring you and resenting you, almost like flipping a switch. One day they're asking you for advice. The next day they're telling people you're fake, and you're sitting there like, what did I do? You didn't do anything. They're just cycling between their two shadow states. Let me break down what this actually looks like in real life, because understanding the psychology is one thing, but you need to know what to watch for. The compliment-insult combo. That's so cool that you got that promotion. I could never do that, but obviously I could if I wanted to. I just have priorities. You're lucky you don't care about work-life balance. What they're doing, complimenting you while simultaneously diminishing your achievement and suggesting you're selfish. They're trying to level the playing field by suggesting your win came at a cost they're too wise to pay. The nitpick spiral. You share something you're proud of, and suddenly they're an expert in finding flaws. Yeah, but did you think about, I read that this method doesn't actually... They're trying to poke holes in your success to make it smaller. If they can make your achievement seem flawed, they can live with their shadow a little longer. The stealth comparison. They tell you a story about someone else who did something similar, but better. Or they mention how their friend achieved something bigger, faster, easier. They're trying to reposition you as not actually that special. They're trying to prove that your success is common, is average, is nothing. The ghosting after your win. You get promoted, you meet someone, you achieve a goal, and suddenly they're very busy. They disappear for a few weeks. Their messages get shorter. They're creating distance because being around you, being around the living embodiment of their rejected potential is too uncomfortable. The unsolicited negativity. They didn't ask for your opinion, but they give you warnings. Just be careful, people who succeed like that often crash hard. Or, that kind of success usually doesn't last. Or my favorite, just don't become one of those people who brags about it. They're planting seeds of doubt. They're trying to get you to sabotage yourself, because if you fail, then the threat goes away. Then they don't have to think about their shadow anymore. Now, I'm going to say something that might be hard to hear, but it's important. If you're experiencing these behaviors from someone, and you're trying to convince them that you deserve your success, You're fighting a battle that has nothing to do with you. You can't win an argument with someone's shadow. You can't logic them out of their projection. It's like arguing with someone's subconscious while they're asleep. They're not going to hear you. And more importantly, you don't owe them that emotional labor. You don't owe them reassurance. You don't owe them proof. Your success wasn't meant to comfort their insecurity. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Jung believed that understanding the shadow in others is actually the gateway to understanding the shadow in yourself. When you see someone projecting their jealousy onto you, when you see someone unable to accept your success, you're actually looking at a mirror. Because every single one of us does this with different people. Every single one of us has someone in our life whose success makes us uncomfortable. Maybe it's a sibling who's more athletic. Maybe it's a friend who's better at relationships. Maybe it's a colleague who's more creative. And maybe you've done some of the things I just described to them without even realizing it. The question isn't just, why do people get jealous of me? The question is, what success in others threatens me the most? What does that reveal about my own shadow? That's the real work. So practically speaking, what do you do when you realize someone's jealous of you and refusing to admit it? First, don't mirror their energy. They're trying to diminish you. Don't internalize it. Don't start questioning whether you deserve your success. You either earned it or you didn't. Their discomfort doesn't change that. Second, create healthy distance. You don't have to cut them off, but you do need to create boundaries. Stop sharing your wins with them. Stop seeking their validation, not because you're being petty, but because you're not going to get honest feedback from someone who's unconsciously threatened by you. You're just giving them more ammunition. Third, feel compassion, but don't carry their burden. This is the tricky one. When you understand their psychology, you might feel bad for them, and that's actually a sign of emotional maturity. But feeling bad for them doesn't mean you have to help them work through their shadow. That's their work, not yours. You can compassionately leave them alone to do it. Fourth, look at your own shadow. Ask yourself, whose success makes me uncomfortable? When do I catch myself doing the nitpick spiral, or the stealth comparison, or making unsolicited warnings? When you catch yourself, pause. That's your shadow trying to protect itself. That's you unconsciously trying to keep someone smaller so you don't have to face what they represent to you. Fifth, keep growing anyway. This is the most important one. Don't shrink yourself to make other people comfortable with your success. Don't dim your light so their shadow doesn't feel so dark. Jung actually said that the people who don't integrate their shadow, the people who refuse to acknowledge it, they become more and more unconscious, more reactive, more controlled by it. But the people who face their shadow, who acknowledge what they rejected in themselves, they become free. So when someone's jealous of you, when someone's trying to diminish your success, just keep going, keep growing, keep succeeding. Because sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone who's jealous of you is to show them what's possible when you stop letting your shadow run the show. Maybe someday they'll see your example and they'll realize they don't have to lock that door forever. All right, so here's what I want you to take from this. Jealousy that won't admit itself isn't actually about you. It's about someone else being haunted by their own rejected potential. When they smile while you succeed but you can feel the rage underneath, that rage is directed at themselves, not at you. Understanding this doesn't make the behavior okay, but it does make it understandable. And that changes how you respond to it. It changes how much power you give it over your own life. The real work isn't convincing them you deserve your success. The real work is making sure you know you deserve it, and then doing your own shadow work so you're not doing this to someone else. If this resonated with you, if you've experienced this exact dynamic, drop a comment. Tell me about it. I read every single one, and honestly, your stories help me understand this stuff better too. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next one.